Hello, my fellow soldiers delivering liberty. This is Mloentje, and welcome back to Helldivers 2. Guys, it's been one hell of a day, and by the time this episode comes out, it's probably gonna be the next day, because I've got so much work, guys. We've got a new patch, and the patch is pretty big. Huge changes, huge buffs, some nerfs. We've got new weather types. We've got missions that changed, that got easier. We've got missions that became harder but easier at the same time. We've got so much to look at. So I guess that is the actual sandstorm coming towards us. That is looking nice, though. What the sandstorm looks from... Wait, you see that? Oh, here it is, I think. You saw that flying ship over there? Oh, look at this. Yeah, visibility is going down. Sandstorm in process. Oh, listen to the noise. It is coming from this direction down. Yeah, look at the visibility. Like you can hardly see in front of you. That is pretty cool. And look at the walking speed that I'm at. Like, it is so slow. Let's sprint. Oh, this is so freaking slow. Holy crap, guys. That is so freaking slow. And then walking is just... It's so freaking funny. This is really, really cool. Oh, bots. Well, they shouldn't be able to see me, right? Because I'm in the sandstorm and so are they. The second weather condition day implemented into the game, guys, is blizzards. Intense blizzards reduce mobility, moderately reduce visibility for both enemies and friendly units. So I do believe it's gonna work the same as the sandstorm, which also reduces your mobility and reduces the visibility for you and your enemies. Just talking about where it was gonna happen, and yeah, this is as slow as we're going through the sandstorm, but now through the snow, yeah, this is horrible. Okay, this is a little faster here. But once you hit those deep patches of snow, you are so slow. Visibility is higher though. Like in the sandstorm, we couldn't see anything, but I can clearly see Hausa right now. Like even a silhouette of the character.
I have a beautiful silhouette.
Yeah, even in real life. So the next thing we need to talk about, guys, is the level cap. So yeah, you can see here Haza with level 73. So we got home from work and it was like, dude, I'm level 71. I'm like, what? Yeah, there's a level cap with the update. And as you can see, I'm still level 45, guys. I'm taking it slow. Like I don't bum rush games. I love to take them slow. So yeah, the new level cap is 150. So 100 more levels than before. And, well, I kind of talked about this with a couple people already. I don't really get why there is even a level cap in this game. Like, gamers love to brag. The brag rights on anything they do is always fun. And if there were no level cap and you would be joining a lobby from somebody who has like 1200, level 1200 and level 1500, you'd be like, holy crap, these guys played a lot. But yeah, for now, the level cap is 150. Haza, what was the highest that you saw yesterday?
110.
110. So yeah, I do presume, because there's already players with level 110, that it's only gonna take a week before we see the first 150s pop up, and those guys are hardcore. That is the only way to get there, is that you've been playing the game from the start and never stopped playing this game. So for me, it's gonna be a little bit before I actually get there. And Admiral is the new title, as you can see here as well, that you can get. So yeah, pretty cool. We got some new level caps, guys. And then we are going over some mission balancing. Let's go check it out. So hardest difficulty, still 50, guys. And the spawn that is happening right now, because I do believe... No, that's the ship that landed. So the spawn that used to happen was a ship, and that landed actually in this location here. So it actually landed inside of the base, right next to where you need to actually like bring your civilians, right? So I do wonder now. Let's start it up. Hot drop detected. So where are they dropping in? How far out of the center are they gonna drop? But that's still pretty. Yeah, this is right outside of the center. Got another one over here. So they're not dropping like in the base anymore. They're dropping like right outside of the base. And this one as well. Like this one used to drop where I'm standing right now. Basically, they dropped on the outside. So it's not really a big change. It really isn't all that big of a change. I do believe that the max amount that we actually needed to do was like 70, I think, that we needed to do on this difficulty. Right now, it's only 50. So, did they make it easier? Yes, yes and no. It all depends on all the other changes that come along, right? The next changes are for guns, so let's dive into those, shall we? So the first changed weapon that got some patches is the arc thrower. So they fixed the charging inconsistencies. It will now always take the first charge shot. So basically what this means is that the first charge that you do, you can charge it completely full and then take your shot. And every other shot that you take afterwards would be of the same power level as your first shot. Now, there were some inconsistencies in that, basically meaning that your second shot, your third shot, your fourth shot in a row would actually not be of the same power level as your first shot. And that's what they actually fixed. So really, really good. There was a slight nerf to the arc thrower though. They reduced the distance of arc thrower from 50 meters to 35 meters. So you can now not throw your arc thrower across the map anymore. Like, the range on the arc thrower was really, really insane. And I feel like this is actually a good nerf. Like, it's not nerfed into the ground, but it's definitely still up there. 35 meters is still a pretty big distance, guys. And then a little bit of a buff towards the arc thrower as well. It increased the stagger force. So enemies that are now hit with arc thrower will actually be staggered. So the next one that we see changes to is the guard dog. So it is the automatic rifle that floats on your little helicopter next to you. This is one that nobody is using, guys. Like, it is versus the actual, whereas the guard dog rover, the laser, it underperforms significantly. And the changes that they made to it, the patches that they made to it is not gonna help it. Like, people are not gonna play it. And what did they actually do? Well, the guard dog now restores full ammo from supply boxes. But the problem lies with the guard dog needs ammo to shoot, so it can run out. Whereas the dog or rover is basically a laser weapon that the only time when it stops shooting is when it's a little bit overheats and kind of needs to cool down. That's it. Like, it goes back to your backpack, it basically cools down and then flies out and shoots again. And it shoots way longer and way more consistent than the guard dog, the actual automatic rifle, does. So nobody is picking that one. The next change is to the anti-material rifle, and this is a big one, guys. The damage is increased by 30%. And I kind of feel like this just makes sense. It is a long-range sniper rifle. It should do a lot of damage. You should be able to, like, one-shot specific higher-tier enemies instead of... Well, as you can see right now, he's kind of shooting the small bugs, and he's one-shotting the small bugs, right? He's shooting the small bots, but you should be able to one-shot bigger enemies with this as well. There should be a strategic advantage of being like, I'm sitting in the back and I'm sniping and I'm taking out the bigger fellows. So a 30% increase in damage is really, really nice. Change they made to Breaker Incendiary is the damage per bullet is now, so if we go tap, we can now see it. The damage per bullet is now increased for 15 to 20 damage per bullet. So that's pretty good. Again, a little buff there. Light armor penetration and incendiary, so it's gonna do burn damage, right? So that is really good, because the next one, fire damage per tick increased by 50% from all sources. So again, if you throw your fire grenades, if you use your fire, your flamethrower, the breaker incendiary, like anything that sets anything on fire, every source of fire is increased by 50%. Now, what I wonder about is the fire damage that we take. Is that gonna be increased by 50% as well? The next change we see is to the Liberator Penetrator. It is now full automatic mode. Basically, if you hold in your reload button, you can swap between different ammo types and different, different fire modes, I mean. And it was single fire or burst fire. Liberator Penetrator with medium armor penetration, so actually pretty powerful weapon there. Damage is not high, but it has armor penetration, and that is pretty medium armor penetration, pretty important. Well, basically, it can now fire full automatic as well, so definitely really nice change there. On the third page of the Steeled Veterans, guys, we find the Dominator, and it has a little bit of a buff. Basically, the damage was increased from 200 to 300, as you can see. And it did get increased stagger, so kind of bringing it up to par with the other shotguns that we have in this game. It has medium armor penetration, so actually pretty good, and it's an explosive one, guys. So it actually has armor penetration and explosion, which might bring it up to par above other shotguns now. And with a capacity of 15, it kind of doesn't have to... Like, if we check out the most used shotgun in the game, the Breaker, 330, but light armor penetration. So the other one has medium armor penetration and has explosive and almost the same damage and a bigger magazine. It might be a contender for the next best shotgun in the game, guys. That's how the developers maybe want it. The Diligence Counter Sniper increased armor penetration from light to medium armor penetration. Damage stayed the same, capacity stayed the same, recoil stayed the same. So basically, medium armor penetration means you can take this out on the bigger enemies that have a little bit more armor. And kind of makes sense, like you have, like the Diligence here, single shot sniper, but then you have a bigger version as well, right? The Marksman Rifle. The upper class, the Diligence ones, the counter sniper. So yeah, really nice. A light armor penetration and a medium armor penetration sniper rifle now in the game. So apparently when you come out of a mission and you fought really hard, so you could tell I didn't fight at all. I also did the fighting. You come into your ship bloody. That is freaking incredible. Does that last? Or does it fade away? Does it fade away or last?
Last.
Until you then go to your
Welcome
own ship.
aboard, Helldiver.
Hey,
We can never have too many heroes fighting for peace.
That is incredible. So you actually get bloody on your ship. I wonder why I'm not bloody. I killed some bots too.
Yeah, but you died.
Oh right, I died and respawned.
And if I do this... hold on.
Oh, so equipping new armor makes it bleed.
And I'm washed.
Yeah. Okay, so the next weapon that got some changes, and this is actually a harsh one because it got really badly nerfed. Like, really badly nerfed. The Slugger reduced stagger damage, so you're not gonna do as much stagger damage as before. Reduced the damage from 280 towards 250. So we talked about before that we had the shotgun that I didn't have yet. That went from, which one was it again? I can look later. But basically the damage went up from 250 to 300. Well, the Slugger got a nerf in his damage. We got reduced demolition force. I'm not really sure what that actually means. Demolition force, I do presume, because like it says, like it's perfect for punching big holes in big targets. So medium armor penetration, rounds reload. So maybe it now has a little bit less armor penetration than it had before with the reduced demolition force. Fixed armor penetration tag in the menu. So the tag here in the menu was actually wrong. I presume it was going to be like light, but it's actually medium that it's actually doing. So they fixed that one. For the spear, they increased the number of missiles you restore from supply boxes from 1 to 2. Before you basically, I think you have like 2 missiles on your own, and then somebody else can actually, like you see here, reload it as well, so it gets reloaded faster. Now I do believe you have 2 missiles on your own, and before, if you go to a supply box, you would only get 1 missile back. So now you get both your missiles back. Really, really nice. And then the heavy machine gun, this one over here. Now the highest fire rate, so this is the new machine gun that is in the game. The highest fire rate mode is reduced from 1,200 RPM to a more moderate 950 RPM. Now I'm really not a fan of this change. Like, the only time I found that the gun was shot steadily, like with the least amount of recoil, is when you put it in 1,200 RPM. It was pull the trigger and reload. Like, 1,200 RPM is like a lot. It's fast. Like, even if you have 75 bullets, they were gone in an instant. But the gun fired smoothly, and it was basically pretty accurate. With 950, they basically say, well, the gun shouldn't be that accurate anymore. The ammo economy is going to be a little bit better, but it's just not going to fire as smoothly again. So, yeah, I'm not really sure. If they make a heavy machine gun, it would make more sense if this was just a single fire one. Like, if you have 75 rounds, but it's like single fire shots, really accurately, I see a lot of people actually using this gun. But because it's so unstable and it only has 75, they need to either change it to single fire, where you can kind of use it as a sniper with a lot of bullets in it that does a lot of damage, or they need to change the mag size to 150 and be able to have like 4 mags on you, something like that. So yeah, not really a fan of where the heavy machine gun is right now in the game. And there we go, guys. Those were all the weapon changes into the game. Definitely some interesting there. Arc thrower, less damage, but more less range, but more stagger and more consistency. Definitely a good one. We've seen a shotgun that now might actually overthrow the one that everybody has been using since the start of the game. Like, definitely some interesting changes there. Definitely not something that I would say like, holy crap, this is just gonna break the game. Like, definitely interesting balancing. That's basically what they did. Now, there are some other changes that I kind of want to quickly go over, but I think most of the guys are mostly interested in like all the weapon changes, so I kind of wanted to dive a little bit deeper into that. Stratagem changes. The Patriot exosuit rockets will now penetrate armor only on a direct hit. So if you flinch to it and you may basically hit a rock, the damage that will incur from that explosion will not penetrate any armor anymore. Basically not really do any damage. You need to hit your targets. Enemy changes. Charger, normal, or melee attack now does less damage against an exosuit. It does less damage, but 2 hits still kills it. I kind of tested it out. 2 hits still kills it. What does happen is if they charge you, it basically does 0 damage and he kills himself. Like, really, I can show you. And here we got the Bile Charger. Can you... He's almost dead from running into me. How's that? Do you see this? Like, look at how bloody it is from just running into me. He's almost dead.
Oh, he's dead.
He's dead from... Did you shoot him?
Oh.
So, okay, so this is pretty cool. Like, you just walk with your with your Titan and they die from running into you. And it appears we are now invincible while in our exosuit. This is ridiculous. Oh, we got another charger here. Come on, dude. Hit me. No, you want to. So this little hit that he does, the melee hit, should do less damage. But holy crap, he shot my exosuit in 2 hits. So yeah, pretty strange there. The Bile Spewer and the Nursing Spewer do less damage with their puke. Basically, it would destroy your health to 9/10 of your bar, that you will only have 1/10 left. Now you could say I have 1/5 of my health left. So there's definitely some changes in there. You basically do not get almost 1 shot anymore. The Bile Titan can no longer be stunned, so stun grenades on a Bile Titan do not work. Shriekers no longer create bug breaches. I didn't even know that they could, so that's really, really good that they fixed that. And Shriekers hitting you while they are dead does now significantly less damage. So basically before, if you shot a Shrieker out of the air and it fell on top of you, you were insta-kill. Like, you could not avoid it if it hit you, even with the tip of his wing. You were insta-kill. Apparently, it will do significantly less damage now. So definitely really, really good. There are some balance changes to the armor, guys. So if we go to armory, we basically have 3 types of armor. We got light, medium, and heavy armor. Heavy armor now should protect you 10%. You should take 10% less damage from all damage types with a heavy armor. So it's not like you get more armor rating. It's basically you take 10% less damage from everything. The medium armor will take 5% less damage, and they didn't change anything about the light armor. So yeah, some changes there. I do have to say, like, most of these changes look like they are making the game a little bit easier for us. We've got some other known issues that we do want to take a look into, and then, well, basically problems that occurred while this patch was implemented, or that actually existed before this patch. So some of the fixes that they did was save settings for PS5 would be reset when the game is rebooted, causing things such as a loadout or hints settings to reset. Enemies now properly target exosuits. Previously, many enemies effectively ignored exosuits if a Helldiver on foot was available for them to target. So that should be changed as well. It's not. I tested this with Haza. Basically, he got like overrun, and I was just standing there and the bugs were just walking past me. So it might be possible that he triggered an attack on them, and the aggro system that is in the game basically said like, oh, you did damage to us, we're gonna kill you, and they left me alone because I wasn't damaging them. That might be possible as well. They did a fix to the exosuits, being able to fire their weapons while opening the minimap. So it used to be that you could fire your weapon. Well, basically, if you would say inside of your exosuit, like, oh, guys, open the map, we are going to this location, you basically would start firing your weapon. That is no longer possible. Helldivers and exosuits both had a bug that made them sometimes take explosive damage multiple times, making things like automaton rockets to be deadly. This is now fixed. So basically, you as a character were taking damage, and your exosuit was taking damage. So you were taking double damage, stacking on top of each other, doing more damage to your exosuit than was actually intended. Automaton enemy constellations that prefer to spawn more of certain Devastator types did not work and now are functioning as they should. This means that sometimes when playing against automatons, you will face more Devastators instead of any other enemy types. We have improved the system that prevents hellpot steering close to larger and important targets, and fixed the case where the ground under some assets could be bombed, causing them to float. So I've seen this before as well. Basically, you bomb the ground with one of your orbitals, and you would call something, and what you would call your stratagem would be floating in the air, basically out of reach to be able to take it down. So yeah, definitely not really interesting. They made some changes to another weapon, some fixes to the ballistic shield. Now, this is a stratagem, guys, that nobody is using, and I do not see these changes. Where the hell is it? Ballistic shield backpack. So it's basically a shield you hold in front of you, as you can see here in the picture. The collision mesh has been slightly increased in size for more forgiveness. Changed shield pose so that less of the Helldiver is exposed, and addressed the bug where parts of the Helldiver would become vulnerable while using the shield in first person. So basically, you would glitch through it if you would be using it in first person, meaning that your entire body was basically being attacked. So yeah, that is definitely not good. And then we end up this video with known issues, guys. These are issues that were either introduced by this patch or are being worked on from a previous version but have not been fixed. The game might crash when picking up a snowball or throwing back a grenade. Various issues involving friend invites and crossplay. Cross-platform friends invites might show up in the friend request tab or not show up. Players cannot unfriend other players befriended through a friend code. Players cannot unblock players that were not in their friend list beforehand. Players cannot befriend players with Steam names shorter than 3 characters. Explosive weapon stats include only direct hit damage, but not explosive damage. So you're basically doing less damage than you should. We've got explosions do not break your limbs, except for when you fly into a rock. Kind of makes sense. Planet liberation reaches 100% at the end of every defense mission. So if you do a defense mission and you are in the lead, but you didn't like completely capture it, didn't completely liberate the planet, if you're in the lead at the end of the timer for a defense mission, the planet is automatically completely liberated. But right now in the game, it doesn't do that. So that is something they're still working on. Drowning in deep water with a vitality booster equipped puts a Helldiver in a broken state. Stratagem Beam might attach itself to an enemy, but it will deploy on the original location. This is something that sometimes happens. A lot of people are using this to basically target Bile Titans. They throw their orbital on the Bile Titan, and then basically, even if it walks away, it will still get killed by that orbital. Sometimes it just hits behind them because the Bile Titan moved away from that location. And then some player customizations like titles, body types may reset after starting the game. So yeah, those are known issues. Now, we did get a new dispatch, I see. A presidential decree. The president of Super Earth has officially recognized this day as Malevolence Creek Memorial Day. So yeah, if we take a look at the major order, guys, it is complete. So we did, let's quickly go out here and go look. Major order, Malevolence Creek, Ubania, and Dropnir are all three completed. So we are waiting now on the 16 hours before the major order is complete. And this would mean that this is, well, kind of the second time we liberated it, because we had it, like, I think a day before, and then all of a sudden it became activated again. But yeah, we do have that presidential decree then. And yeah, in every year on this day, Super Earth citizens will unite for a full 3 minutes of their lunch break. So we cannot do it during hours. We need to do it on our own time for a solemn remembrance of those who gave their lives to free Malevolent Creek. In addition, all Helldivers have been issued a special commemorative cape, so they may carry the memory of their fallen companions into the battle. And this is exactly the cape that I'm wearing right now. Basically, Haza told me, like, dude, there's a new cape in the game. I'm like, what? A new cape? He's like, yeah, let's check it out. And we were both looking in the ship, and it was like, okay, character, and then let's go armory. Oh, hell crap. Fallen Heroes Vengeance. So a new cape into our heroic fallen live on in this cape, guiding its bearers aimed to the heart of those who killed them. It's kind of sad that this is the first cape that they introduced into the game, because we took over a territory, that there is no additional bonus to this cape. It also makes sense because no other cape has an additional bonus. Because if they implement additional bonus for this cape, that means they're gonna need to implement additional bonuses for every cape, right? Kind of makes sense. So yeah, they didn't implement it, but it's actually a pretty cool looking cape. So a lot of people are gonna be wearing this one right here. And this is where I'm gonna wrap up this episode, guys. I've got a lot of looking into, because there are two more things that weren't mentioned in the patch notes, but actually made its way into the game. And those are two new enemy types. Yes, you heard me correctly, two new enemy types. And in the next episode, we are definitely going to take a look at how they look and how we can beat them. For now, I'm going to wrap up this episode here. Like I said, if you want to see more of my Let's Play or my, mission progression here in Helldivers 2 or any other game that I might be playing on my channel, guys, just hit that subscribe button. It would always help out a lot. I do hope you enjoyed this episode, and I'll see you in the next one.